So it's got that little crunch, but I think it's still chewy and soft in the inside.
And I like my cookies soft.
Yeah, yeah.
This is delicious.
Hey, hi, I'm Amy and Amy Roloff, and we're in my little kitchen again. I'm so excited because I don't know why I only make these types of cookies usually around the, oops, that's my microwave. Usually around fall or, the holidays, Christmas and stuff like that. But I wanted to make ginger molasses cookies. I hope they're gonna be chewy, even though I like crunchy. I hope they have a little bit of a crispy edge around it with that nice chew in it too. So anyway, I'm gonna give this a try. So obviously it's been a long time since I've done this. I was looking at a bunch of recipes because I was looking at an older recipe that I have. And then I thought, well, what are other people doing out there? And the thing that always trips me up about baking is baking soda and baking powder. Sometimes you use it together. Sometimes you only use one or the other. And I was thinking, well, if you don't want them so flat, maybe a little baking powder, but they're both kind of leavening agents. There it goes again. I better go get it. They're both leavening agents. And so anyway, so many recipes out there use baking soda. So that's what I'm going to do here for this cookie too. I just thought I'd give you that little, behind the scenes of, what I do. I have been cooking and baking for so long, but I tell you, sometimes I don't exactly trust myself and I go online to verify, did I have the right idea? So anyway, this is my version of ginger molasses cookies. And I think it's a great, with all those nice, warm, earthy spices during the holidays and fall time. So we've got a few friends over here coming for soup and game night. And I thought this would be kind of a nice little treat. But it's so funny because I always say we're having friends here. I'm giving them, or the food and the cookies to my kids, but I never show you guys the pictures. So I will try and do better at that. But anyway, let's get going and let's bake. I've got everything together here. Oh, I'm using my local company, Tillamook Butter. That's just a shout out because I want to do it. I'm a big fan of local. But if you happen to have a company somewhere else that's local, feel free. I just think they do a great job on their butter and cheese and sour cream and yogurts and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, we're going to use 12 tablespoons of butter. So we're going to cream that. Have it room temperature softened. And I keep saying this as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That I'm going to get a glass bowl one of these days for my mixer. Because I sometimes think with a metal bowl, if you want things room temperature, a metal bowl is, keeps things cold or something. So anyway, so we're going to cream this together. Get that whipped up. Then I have 1 cup of brown sugar in here and I compressed it. I'm not sure what that noise is. Someone is outside banging something. I mean, you hear so much more here in the neighborhood. I don't know. But anyway, 1 cup of brown sugar. We're going to add that in here, cream these two together. You want to do that till it's fully combined. And don't worry if, where's that one thing go? Oh, here it is. Don't worry, obviously with brown sugar, it's gonna probably feel and look a little grainy, but that's okay. As all going to be incorporated into the dough. But just make sure you cream it as best you can. There we go. Give that a few more seconds. I love these cookies because they do have a chew to it. They're warm. They're like a little that spice in it. It's just, oh, I love it. One thing that I do, and I'm sure you've seen other people do it as well, I often forget to get my eggs out and get them to be room temperature. So I just put an egg in warm or kind of hot water and just let it sit there for a little bit. And then when you can feel it and it feels like it's at room temperature. So that's what I did with this egg. Because I always forget to get it out. So we're gonna drop one egg in here and blend this in with the butter sugar mixture. Get all our wet stuff going. Oh, you know one thing I forgot? I forgot my vanilla. Thought I got it. Okay, let me go get vanilla. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, that was quick, I hope. Anyway, about a teaspoon of vanilla. I like using pure vanilla extract, not imitation. I don't know, I just feel better about using pure vanilla. And if you're gonna do baking, try and use the best. So anyway, pure vanilla right here. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in, about a teaspoon. Okay, and after we do this, we'll get all of our dry ingredients together. Gotta think about this. I'm looking at my notes. I'm just gonna scrape down the sides. And you already probably can tell that I remember this being a stiff dough. There's only one egg in there. I'm just gonna kind of whip that up. Before we add in the molasses, I wanted to get the flour mixed in. So I am going to do about 3 cups of flour. And I definitely have learned over time to really spoon your flour in your measuring. Because if you don't, if you just scoop it in there, you might have more flour than you need. Or you have air pockets and you don't get enough flour. So we're gonna do about 3 cups of flour here. So we're gonna do that. So the whole point is I scoop my flour into the bowl. Probably didn't get a big enough bowl for this. Did I get a fork out? Since I didn't get a big enough bowl to use a whisk, I'm just gonna use a fork. So I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We'll see what happens. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Cloves. I'm going to use a half a teaspoon here of cloves. There we go. But I love fresh nutmeg. Anywhere from, I'm going to grate it, anywhere from 1/4 to a half a teaspoon, but probably a 1/4 teaspoon is good. I can already smell these nice warm spices. I think that's about enough. I'm going to do about, I don't know, I'm going to do about 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And then 2 teaspoons of ginger. And I hope that's enough. I like the taste of all of these. Okay, and then we're just going to stir this in a little bit. Stir this into the flour. And with these warm spices along with the molasses, oh, you've got a nice, rich, spiced cookie. I mean, if that doesn't remind you of the holidays or just fall, I'm not quite sure what does. And I'm just definitely going to add in a little bit of salt. Always got to do a little bit of salt. Now, if your butter had salt in it, you may not need as much salt in your flour mixture. But salt will balance out a little bit of the sweetness with whatever you're baking. Okay, I think that's done. Let's see here, molasses. Well, I guess this was bound to happen because I forgot to turn on the video camera, so you didn't see all the preparation from this. So I am sorry, but you're still going to get this video. I'll see what my team thinks. But like most baked things, you mix all the wet ingredients together, you mix all the dry ingredients together, and then either add the liquid or the wet ingredients to the dry or vice versa. So I'm just adding the last little bit of the flour that was combined with the salt, the baking soda, and all the spices. I mixed in the 12 tablespoons of soft butter with 1 cup of brown sugar, and then mixed in the egg and then the molasses. And then I'm just finishing up combining the dry with all of that. So I don't know. I was telling you guys a really good story that meant a lot to me because it was, I've had the opportunity to do speaking engagements, which I absolutely love, traveling all over the country and meeting so many wonderful, great people. Just sharing my story of growing up, being a little person, and you know, this whole life that I've been able to do with the reality show, Little People, Big World. But this one particular one, because it reminded me of molasses, maple syrup, was that it was at the National Maple Syrup Festival down in southern Indiana. And it was so cool because I love being back in the Midwest. I love to see how they were tapping into the trees to get all that good juice from the tree. And I tell you, it takes a lot just to have a little bit of maple syrup. I was amazed. But anyway, so making these cookies reminded me of that. So let's get going. Enough of all that. So I'm going to add in this little bit of flour left. Whoa. See if I need to scrape it down at all. Okay. I think that's about it. And your dough may be a little stiff, and if it is, that's okay. If you find it to be too stiff, You may want to add just in a little bit more flour, but you also don't want to ruin the ratio between wet and dry. So I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator for a little bit while I get cleaned up. I forgot to turn on my oven. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? And then by the time I do all of that, it should be in the refrigerator long enough. But I'm either going to sugar my hands or flour my hands so all this sticky dough doesn't get all over my hands. Okay, hang on here. I'm a big fan of getting all of this off your utensils instead of just washing it all away. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna put some saran wrap in here, stick it in the oven for anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes just to have it cool down a little bit. It may help in making the actual cookie. So we'll go from there. Okay, after that fiasco of not starting up my oven's ready. After that fiasco of not starting up my video and I don't know, just having you see the whole process. Sorry about that. Hopefully this will still work for you. But I am going to flour my hands first. There we go. Because I know this is going to be a little sticky. So I'm just going to roll them into, little balls. Let me get situated here. Roll it in some, I'm using natural cane sugar here. It's kind of like a brown sugar. I thought that would be really kind of neat for this. I was afraid to use like an ice cream scooper or whatever, cookie scooper, because I was afraid that half the cookie would stick inside. I'm gonna spread these out, hopefully enough, about an inch apart, because these will spread a little bit. But I'm gonna use probably the bottom of a glass cup to kind of press down on these a little bit. So I'm just gonna hopefully, see I can already feel them sticking to my hands. I'm just rolling them in the sugar. I'm gonna just dab a little more flour on here. I mean, you definitely don't want too much flour on your hands, but I also don't want half the cookie on my hand. So depending on the size that you want to make these will depend on how long you cook them. The bigger they are, obviously, the longer you cook them. Sometimes I like a big giant cookie, but I don't think I'm gonna do that here. And if I have enough left over, I'll bring some over to Jer and I since they live so close to me, or even Jacob and Isabel. They live close to me now too, so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. Yeah, these are just that little time in the fridge really helped. And they're still sticky, not as stiff as I had anticipated, but just in case. So I'm gonna get this done, make this first batch, and then start working on my second. I don't wanna stop in the middle of turning you off, turning the video off. Oops, that one looks a little big. Okay. I don't know, I think the sugar just gives that little bit of sweetness, but also as it kind of melds into the cookie, it may give that little crunch to it as well. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna put these into a 350, oops. Is this big enough? I think this is big enough. Just gonna press down slightly. Just a little bit. I hope I'm not doing it too much. So anywhere from, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. These don't look like they're gonna be very big, so probably closer to 8 minutes. So about 350, depending on your oven. I wouldn't go higher than 375. So let's see what happens. And then I'll start on getting another baking sheet ready to go. Okay, it's probably been, for my cookies, I'd say close to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna get them out of the oven. Oh yeah, oops. Ugh. Oh yeah, look at that. Don't they look very nice? And you know what, I apologize, but I had to take one and just see if they were done enough. And I will tell you this, once they start to cool down, they get a little bit of crack in them, which makes it kind of neat too, but got a little crunch on the outside, chewy on the in. So good, you guys. I'm so excited that I made these. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in the oven. And what I did too is about after 5 minutes, I turned the cookie sheet around. So in case the back cookies were cooking just slightly a little faster than the front ones, that way they're kind of evenly baked. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. And start getting ready for our friends to come over. Okay. Okay, well look who just walked in the door.
And apparently for me to try one of these, I have to do it in front of you guys. So let's get it going.
Yes.
They smell so good. The house smells so good. It's just about something about the smell of
it's spicy, it's that cinnamon, it's warm.
It just warm comfort as soon as I walk through the door. So
that's what helps me keep them around.
Yeah. Another reason to come home.
Anyway, these are ginger molasses cookies, and you can find this recipe over on my YouTube channel at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com. So, or I should just say Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen on my YouTube channel. But anyway, I kind of messed. Oh yes.
Okay.
Take this one.
Why that one? This one's bigger.
Because I made a mistake. I didn't click the video on when I was mixing all the ingredients, so.
This is still warm too.
Oh yeah. So it's got that little crunch, but I think it's still chewy and soft in the inside.
And I like my cookies soft.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
You know, it's like that one song, country, you know, who loves country and the other person loves rock and roll. I'm crunchy, he's soft. I'm messy, he's neat. That's why we attract each other now. So you like them?
Excellent.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Woohoo!
So I'm assuming about half these are mine.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But we're going to share them tonight as we have friends over. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway, thanks for being with me in my little kitchen. But like I said, you can find this recipe and a whole bunch of others over at my YouTube channel at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. So.
And I strongly recommend.
Bye.
Bye.